Alright fellas, welcome back to the tube. Full day of eating, high day, holy awesomeness. I'm excited for this one. Yeah, like I say, a bit of a full day of eating today. Day in the life of an online coach. I've got a busy day today with a session later on with Jack. And I've got the pod to film and a load of other stuff. But main focus of this tube is the full day of eating. And the diet is over. Pretty much. I've been weighing in basically 91 kilos for the whole of this week, which puts me 16 kilos down from my heaviest. Let me do, in fact, no, I'll save the comparison shot for later, because the last 3 days I've had slightly higher food. Yesterday was significantly higher, and today is the same again. So I want to talk you through what I'm doing with my food as we transition out of the diet, and hopefully I'll look pretty good after today's upper session with a bit more food in me. So meal numero uno is the usual, the best pre-workout in the game if you're going to be eating it maybe 2 to 4 hours before. This is 80 grams of oats, up from the usual 40. So I've basically bumped up my carbohydrates quite significantly. We've got then 150 grams of berries, we've got a banana, we've got some whey drips over the top, and we've got 10 grams of dark chocolate in this one as well. So basically doubled the oat quantity. Everything else is the exact same because my main focus across the last few days has basically been increase my carbohydrate intake. So this one's going to digest a little bit slower, hence why if you're having it pre-workout, give yourself enough time to digest it. And I'm going to be training in about 5 hours, so I'm actually going to be having pre-workout 2.0 coming soon. So yeah, I'm going to scran this, crack on with the day. Let's freaking go. It is podcast time, and those oats were bloody lovely. I actually put a little bit of salt in the whey paste mixture because I want to get a sick pump later on. And it was actually really, really nice. Only half a gram, 0.6 of a gram, I think it was, slightly went over. But pod time, 45 minutes roughly on the clock. Today's episode is a bit of a Q&A about dieting and that kind of thing. So if you want to watch it, or listen to it, sorry, this is a non-video pod right now. If you do want to listen to it, it will be in my link on my Instagram. Hello. Ladies and gents, welcome back to the Long Game Podcast. I'm currently filming a YouTube today, so there's a bit of a weird cross filming going on. I've got a mic on my chest, I've got the pod mic in front of me, and today is a big old content day because I am going on holiday on Tuesday. So by the time this comes out on Monday, I'll be going on holiday the day after that. So obviously today I've got all of my client stuff wrapped up, all the programming, all the check-ins, etc. That is already boxed off. Now it's time for a big old batch of content work. So, right then, pod done, and that was a really quite an interesting topic, I think, answering the question, once you finish dieting, should you reverse out? Should you go straight up to maintenance, or should you even go straight into a surplus? And to be honest, I think it is a little bit person dependent, but for most people, I actually think you're better off striking a balance somewhere in between a reversal and maintenance. So let's say your maintenance is 800 calories above where your dieting food is. What I'd tend to do is probably bump up by, say, 500 calories so that your digestion is definitely still good. You're not suddenly ramping up the food super high. Then from there, assessing where the body weight goes and then reversing out from there. So then you might add 50 to 100 calories each week, gradually working up to your maintenance seems to usually be a pretty good bet. For some people, a reversal works really well, but for me, I don't see it very often. People go through a reversal and kind of magically get to a caloric intake that is significantly higher than what I would have expected from them. I think some people talk about a reversal as if it's some magic thing. Some people, it does work very well. For most, I don't think there's anything like amazing there. So it's dependent on your situation. I think if you are going to do a reversal and just really slowly increase, just understand that you will be in a dieting phase still across that reversal phase, and you can still expect to be a little bit lower energy and that kind of thing. So yeah, very person dependent, depends on the situation, but for most of you, bump up your food to a position that's slightly below where you expected maintenance is, and then reverse out from there is usually my favourite play. Also, meal number 2. We're an hour and a half out from training now, and I've got some jammy bagels with copious amounts of jam. So this should be bloody lovely. Let's get a thumbnail. I look kind of weird. 1.5 hours out, carbohydrates going in. Let's get it. Right, it's time to train. All the food has been digested. Feeling kind of full actually, which is an interesting feeling that I've not had in quite a while. But we're training with Jack today. We've got an upper session on the card, so probably just gonna plonk the camera down. Hopefully I'll spit some game for you and get a wicked pump. Fingers crossed. Nice. Do you feel like you're getting that through your side delt? Yeah.
A lot here.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Just when we're doing like a narrow grip pull down, ideally you want to try and keep your bicep sort of pointing upwards. So when you get to that bottom position, on the way up, just think about kind of maintaining that squeeze with your elbows so those elbows stay directly under your hands. It's just going to keep the load on your lats a little bit more. Yeah, spot on. There you go. Good. Good. Down here. Yeah, wicked. Really good. Grind it. Yeah, well done. Nice. Does that feel any different? Yeah. Right chaps, that was a bloody good session with Jack, going through a few bits in his upper session. Obviously, he is not usually training out of RT, so some of the movements we had to do a little bit different, like obviously incline machine press and that kind of thing we had to swap in for the Smith machine. However, with all that said, he actually smoked me on the Smith machine, which is brilliant, really. I also got a couple of physique shots at the back end. I'm happy. I think I've actually still look a little bit flat, so I'm probably gonna train on Monday, continue loading over today, Saturday and Sunday, so that on Monday I can have like a proper look at where the rig is at. in all honesty, is it like actually needed? No, I don't need to get some videos of me like looking at my fullest and leanest, but I would definitely like them for the memories, I guess, or for the files, as long as I don't actually end up going into a dieting phase part 2. I may do, I'll be honest. Looking at the current rig, like, I'm really happy. I am looking pretty gosh darn lean, which is obviously class. However, there's always a bit more to pull off. There's a case for calling it a day for sure. But literally after 2 days of higher food, I feel wicked, which sort of says to me that there's probably a little bit more in the tank. But we'll see how I'm feeling post Budapest. Now I'm off to play paddle, which should be very fun, and also eat some pizza, I believe. So I'll do my best to get some footage for you, and I'll see you when we get the next gram. Update on the full day of eating. I did indeed have a muffin for starters because I was absolutely starving. So I had a blueberry muffin, and then I had a pepperoni pizza from Lake Y with, what did you have? Chicken. You had a Polo pizza shared with Very Fit. Name drop. Very Fit, name drop, famous friend, kind of famous. Anyway, I'll put overviews of the scran so you can see exactly what I ate. And now I'm going to eat my final meal in maybe an hour or so. Also, play paddle. Insert paddle. Go, montage. No way, it's Very Fit. Oh my god, it's Very Fit. Right then, chaps, let's finish off this full day of eating. You're not going to think that I have pizza all the time, but I actually just film YouTubes quite often on a Friday. And obviously on a Friday tends to be more socials and that kind of thing. So I guess it's a good representation, like what I'll do on a day of potentially having some socials. Now this one, to be honest, I actually forgot I was having pizza. I knew I was going to paddle, forgot about the pizza. So in hindsight, I would have made a couple of tweaks to what I had previously to the day to basically create a bit of room for that. But luckily, I actually forgot to have my meal number 3, which was at the gym, which was going to be some beef mince. Oh, it was like what was it? It was a chili with peppers, and I was going to have some extra carbohydrates in the form of some more bagels. So that kind of did accidentally create the room for said pizza. Now I'm just a little bit short on the protein, so I've topped up on the yogurt today. So we've got some yogurt here, we've got some pineapples, and we've also got some blueberries and raspberries hidden in the bottom there. And this just helps to top up my protein back into the day. I usually use this meal as almost like a top-up meal where I'm going, especially when I'm in an off season, not so much in a diet, but when I'm in a gaining phase, a lot of the time I'd use this meal as a top-up meal to sort of say, right, I'm a bit short on this, having looked at what I've tracked throughout the whole day, and then I'll basically either increase the yogurt or add some more carbs from like bananas or oats, etc. Not oats, like what's it called? Granola. Or I'd add some fats from some dark chocolate. So it's kind of like my top-up meal in a gaining phase, and it's basically what I'm doing right now. More protein just to top up the day, because realistically that pizza had very little. So yeah, I've got hay fever. I'm going to go sort myself out. Paddle was wicked, and hope you enjoyed the tube. If you did, please do consider hitting the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.